Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Consciousness Empowerment. Okay, here we are going to talk about principles, books, the laws of the universe, and how to reach your fucking dreams. Okay, I'm gonna be changing up my intros to be more authentic to myself. Okay, because I adopted one from, who was it? Elior Alexandra. So she's a cutie, but I remember I've been watching her for a long time, and I decided to do my channel because it's my purpose. So I'm similar to her. A lot of people who are doing this is because it's their purpose. Okay, you don't just wake up one day like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna teach everybody about imagination, the laws of the universe. Which the law of attraction is one of them, and create a YouTube channel. Not everyone does that, so. Yeah, I digress. So today we're going to talk about the stories in Neville Goddard's book, Power of Awareness. Okay, I'm going to go over two stories because one was very short. I'm like, okay, one that's too short. And then I got a good nugget from the other one. Okay, so the other one is a very good story. So we're going to start off with that one. Okay, this is story. Why is it I always lose the whatchamacallit, the page. I always lose the page. I always have like a pen or something that I put in it, and then I end up putting it somewhere else. So this was supposed to be in here. All right. Before we get started, I want you to really make the choice to be open-minded and apply what you learn. Okay, even if it's just a little tweak in an affirmation, a little tweak. Okay, because you got to use different tools. Okay, there's different tools that will benefit you, and you'll start seeing some results when you apply certain ones. And then as you evolve in your power of awareness, like your control of your awareness increases, you're going to be living life amazingly. You're going to be like, wow, I haven't been living. Okay, life just looks so clean and so beautiful. Even the ugliest things that you can see the beauty in them because you're so in the present moment, just taking it in the present moment. Okay, and you do that through meditation, being grounded, being in your body, using imagination exercises daily. This is daily. Okay, you don't just wake up and you're like, oh, I'm a whatchamacallit, you are a powerful manifestor. You always have been, but like, I control my consciousness. You don't just, I control my consciousness. No, there's so many ideas that bombard us. Okay, so we have to use these tools to change our beliefs, to control our consciousness, to control our mind, what goes in our mind, and what manifests, because what goes in the mind comes out in the physical. Okay, I digress. Second thing, be willing. Okay, make the choice to be the highest version of yourself. Okay, don't limit yourself just because society or somebody, whatever's in here, go for. You do that by being silent in the mornings. In the mornings, sit down, listen to your heart. What is it that you truly want? Okay, this is called being congruent with your conscience. Conscience congruent. Conscience congruency. All right, so let's get started. All right. The story 6. Okay, I'm starting 6 to 5 because 6 has a little more meat in it that I can share with you all. Okay, so this one is about a friend that went to Neville Goddard and said, hey, can you go speak to my son? He is, he's bedridden. He's about to die because he's in a, he has a, what is it? A mortal disease, right? He has a rare disease. The doctors are saying that he's not going to make it. Okay. And so He went to go see them. The son and the wife. Okay, the son is fairly young. He's around like 26, 28. He's 28 years old. And so he meets them and he starts off by this, okay? Quote, I started by telling him that there was only one solution to any problem. And that solution was a change of attitude, since talking exhausted him. I asked him to nod in agreement if he understood clearly what I said. This he agreed to. I'm gonna repeat it again. I was kind of giggling because I was connecting to the way mind creates everything. Mind creates everything, because once you've dominated it, reactions, even responses to the external, okay? Because after reaction, there's responding. After responding, there is contemplating. After contemplating, it's just letting it be, letting it go. Oh man, I just spit a little bit. But it's just letting it go. It's just because you're just aware. You just are. Everything just is. You're just awareness. Just letting it be and letting it go. Okay? I want you to really think about that. Reaction, that's when you're not in control. Reactive to people yelling at you, doing stuff, you just look around, that's reaction. Responding is you thinking about what are you going to say to that stimulus. Contemplating is just kind of thinking about it. Like, you know, you're not going to respond. You're kind of like in a meditative state. You're not moving and you're just contemplating. Oh, that just happened. And then there is just letting it go. Because you're letting it be. Everything is just happening in the moment. Just in the moment. You know, because we're here in time and space. Our consciousness is kind of seeing a continuum of time. We close our eyes, which is blank. Close your eyes right now. There is no time and space, just blank. And your breath. So I like to say that your breath is linked to your awareness. Okay, to your level of awareness. Because if you're tight, then you're in the negative vibration, anxiety, anger, whatever. If you're aware, you're happy, right? Your breath is an indicator of your level of awareness. So that's why I was giggling. So I'm going to say this again. I started by telling him that there was only one solution to any problem. And that solution was a change of attitude. Since talking exhausted him, I asked him to nod in agreement if he understood clearly what I said. This he agreed to. Next part. And this is consecutive. I described the facts underlying the law of consciousness. In fact, that consciousness was the only reality. I told him that the way to change any condition was to change his state of consciousness concerning it. As a specific aid in helping him to assume the feeling of already being well, I suggested that in imagination, he see the doctor's face expressing incredulous amazement in finding him recovered, contrary to all reason, from the last stages of an incurable disease. That he see him double checking in his examination and hear him saying over and over, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Okay. So right here, he is seeing the end because he's seen somebody else tell him, it's a miracle, it's a miracle. You're healed, right? He's looking through his examination. Okay, I did your examinations, your blood test. There's nothing in your blood anymore. It's a miracle. You don't have it no more. It's a miracle. You're cured. And so he did this, and then several months later, he received a letter saying the son had made a miraculous recovery. And on his next visit, he was in perfect health. He was in perfect health, engaged in business and thoroughly enjoying the many activities of his friends and family. Without health, you can't really live. You cannot live. That's why I have it up here. I was sick for 2 days, bedridden. And I think it was to have this message. I was bedridden. I didn't eat. The only thing I was craving was bananas. So I ate bananas. I would just eat and go back to sleep. And I got this message. Life, love, happiness, health, and love, which is being happy, being healthy, and having loving relationships. Okay? And health is essential. Okay, you can't have the others without the health. Because if you're bedridden, you don't have health, you don't have life. Truly. Life is on a string. So be grateful right now. If you can breathe, move, and smile, and jump and exercise, be very grateful. Okay. And there's one area that you've manifested. Okay. Therefore, you can manifest other areas. And I want to share what he said right here. Quote, the son, right? He told me that from the day I left, he never had any doubt that it would work. He described how he had faithfully followed the suggestion I had made to him, and day after day had lived completely in the assumption of already being well and strong. Well and strong. Now, 4 years after his recovery, he is convinced that the only reason he is here today is due to his successful use of the law of assumption. Assume the feeling the wish fulfilled. Okay. Ask yourself, how would I feel were my wish manifested? Okay, how would I feel? What would I do? Okay, if it were already manifested, what would I do? Okay. And the thoughts will come. The thoughts will come. And the last story that I want to share, story 5, is of a woman who would rent out her apartment because she had a home in the countryside. But this time around, she had real estate agents put it up so she can put it up for marketing, and so that way she can get someone to rent the apartment. This time around, it didn't happen. The time period, the season for getting a renter, a tenant, didn't happen. So she's worried, like, oh, okay, so how am I going to pay X, Y, and Z? That I need that income. She's like, I need that income. I'm not gonna be able to go to my summer home this summer with my kids if I don't get this. So she went to Neville, and Neville told her, okay, well, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And he told her this. Quote, I suggested that by imagining the apartment had been rented by a person desiring immediate occupancy, and by assuming that this was the case, her apartment actually would be rented. Okay. In order to create the necessary feeling of naturalness, the feeling that it was already a fact that her apartment was rented, I suggested that she drift off into sleep that very night, imagining herself not in her apartment, but in whatever place she would sleep were the apartment suddenly rented. She quickly grasped the idea and said that in such a situation, she would sleep in her country home, even though it was not yet opened for the summer. Okay. And Neville Goddard, I was called Neville she. Neville Goddard shares this story because how quick it manifested, how quickly it happened. This interview, quote, this interview took place on Thursday, and at 9 o'clock the following Saturday morning, she phoned me from her home in the country, excited and happy. She told me that on Thursday night, she had fallen asleep, actually imagining and feeling that she was sleeping in her other bed in her country home, many miles from the city apartment she was occupying. On Friday the next day, a highly desirable tenant, one who met all her requirements as a responsible person, not only rented the apartment, but rented it on the condition that he would move in that very day. Again, what would you do if your goal were accomplished? What would you do? What would you see? What would you feel? In her story, she felt herself sleeping in her country home. So her country home would be very, very different compared to an apartment home. So if you want a home and you're living in an apartment right now, go to an open house, and if they have a bed, lay in the bed. You know what I mean? Or look up a bed that you like for your home, and then imagine yourself sleeping in that bed. It's a certain color frame, see the frame, before you get into the bed, feel the frame and go into bed, If you want a certain amount of money, what would you see? What would you do? You would see the money in your bank account. What would you do? You would go and travel, or you would donate millions of dollars, right? Or hundreds of thousands or thousands, depending what your amount is. You'll donate some. You'll buy something for a loved one. If it's for health, if it's for health, what would you be doing right now? What can't you do right now because of health reasons? Maybe you can't run up some stairs. See yourself running up some stairs easily, okay? Easily. Your body's moving freely. Maybe it's something about, you can't have kids. Now you can. Deny the circumstances. Despite denials, visualize your wish fulfilled. Okay? A good one, okay? A good. Sometimes there's too much garbage in our subconscious mind, but when you're aware, you can say next. Just say next. Say next to them. Negative thoughts that come next. And then you're present and you can really live life. There's a quote that I like. But before I go into the quote, also, if you're showing hatred to somebody, send love to them. Picture something you do love, maybe a video game, that feeling, or maybe a friend, family, a pet, feel that feeling and send it. Send it to that person you're feeling some type of way to, okay? I'll do that right now. Somebody just came up, so send it to him. See, I acknowledge these feelings. Whatever hate, resentment, jealousy, anything, change it, switch it to love. And you can live. Because wherever you go, there you fucking are. You can't change. If you change your circumstance and you're feeling some sort of way about a circumstance or some person, it's in here. No matter where you go, there you are. Okay? Now, the quote that I want to share with you was one from Florence Scovel Shinn. I want to say the right one. I don't want to say the wrong one. I think it's on the wisdom. Come on, God. Let me find it fast so I can move on. Here it is. Fear and impatience demagnetize. Poise magnetizes. Fear and impatience, they demagnetize. They demagnetize your wish. They demagnetize it. You have to be poised. Calmness magnetizes. Okay? So I hope you like this one. If there's anything you want me to answer or go deeper into, maybe the affirmations, apps that I use to loop. You know what? I use a loop. I think it's called Looper. I think it's called Loop or Looper, and it counts the affirmation count. It counts the affirmation count, and you want to do 10,000. Set up goals, because if you're just doing it, it's kind of boring. You want to have fun with this. Life is about the journey, okay, more than the goal, okay. There's a saying that John Wooden says that I love. I bookmarked it right here. I bookmarked it. A successful journey is the destination. So all this inner work, all these negative thoughts, all these negative feelings, embrace the process, okay? Embrace them, and embrace the process of letting them go. This is the development process. And this, what you're doing is preparing yourself, because you're getting the knowledge of how to let go of all these things, okay? Affirmations, visualization, meditation, saying next, letting go, being poised, all these tools, and setting up exercises for yourself, okay? Setting up exercises for yourself. You know, I like it when there's a lot of like practice of visualizing right now. You know, as I watch videos myself, so I'm gonna do this as well, okay? So think of your goal, okay? And ask yourself, how do I feel now that, and enter your goal, okay? For me, I'm gonna say it in my mind right now. All right. Now, feel amazing and completely relaxed. That was what came to me. What came to you? Those are your feelings. Comment below. Now that I've achieved my goal, I feel completely, okay, the feeling that you have. And you have it now. That's you and your feelings. So feel the feeling now. Just enjoy the feeling. And throughout the days, listen to your loop audios, okay? And before you go to sleep, you can also do that. The key is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled right before you go to bed, okay? I do both. I use the feeling, put on the audio, okay? Especially if I can't get the feeling. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not feeling it, so I'm gonna use the audio. Okay, I hope you like this one. Until next time, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If somebody came to mind, share it with them. If you deeply, deeply love them and care about them, share it with them, okay? I love you. Until next time, peace.